Shaykh al-Albānī had this saying I used to always quote. He said that computers make people ignorant, right? And what he meant by that is that people begin to rely on these devices. And this is true. I've seen now people rely on Google, for example. And now what is even more dangerous are people relying on what is called AI, or artificial intelligence, which is dangerous. And I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but AI actually does what is called hallucination. It hallucinates. And what that means is when it can't answer something, because it's sort of designed to give you answers. And when it can't answer something properly, it will give you a false answer. It'll give you a wrong answer, right? I'll give you a perfect example. I was demonstrating this for some of the brothers in Camden, and I showed them. I had them look up Imam Muslim. Right, in the AI thing. And I have the screenshot of this, by the way. I have the screenshot. I can share this with Mariah. And in the screenshot, the AI agent said that he was Muslim Muhammad al-Ethiopi, commonly known as Imam Muslim. So it confused because Shaykh al-Ethiopi had the explanation of the Sahih of Imam Muslim. I'm assuming that that's where the hallucination came from, that error right there. So it gave false information, right? And it does this often, by the way. This is the hallucination is not uncommon. It hallucinates a lot, and it will give you false information. And so therefore, one is not exactly sure what they're getting when they use these kind of devices. But what has happened is people have begun to rely on these things. They've begun to rely on these things. And what happens is that what it does is, and there was a recent study that showed that people who have relied on AI can no longer sort of, they can't write cohesive paragraphs, coherent paragraphs, and essays and what have you. They've lost the ability to sort of to think their way through things. And so this reliance, and the Shaykh al-Albānī already said that, right? So that I didn't need that research from the Ivy League institution. Shaykh al-Albānī already said that these computers make people ignorant. And that's exactly what they do when one relies on them in that particular way. So again, my advice, like to get back to the question, sorry to sort of go off on a tangent, but my advice is to put down the phones, and again, be present with one's family, one's companions, increasing oneself in ibad and worship, and also like reading from the different works and texts of Islam. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't any benefit from these devices. And again, I want to make sure that I clarify that. Shaykh Abul-Hasan mentions, as other scholars have mentioned, there's benefit, but one has to know that balance, the balance in benefiting from these things, but not going overboard